In this video, I'm going to react to why America's Ford-class supercarriers could be unstoppable. Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Kabir Considers. This is the place where I react to music, media, sports, anime, anything related to popular culture. I'll watch it with an open mind and give you my 100% honest reaction to it. And if you could please hit that like button early, I'd really appreciate it. Now, this should be fascinating. From my limited knowledge of the US military and militaries as a whole, I believe the Ford class carrier is the largest class of aircraft carriers in the world, you know, the biggest by far. And from what I've heard about aircraft carriers, they're literally like towns on ships, almost like floating cities. You know, I think an aircraft carrier, you know, can have up to 10,000 people aboard it at any given time. That is just an absolutely insane amount of people on one vessel. And you know, to be called the largest, you know, they call these the supercarriers. These things have just got to be absolutely insane, and yeah, this video is going to be fun. So let's go. This is going to be me reacting to why the Ford class supercarriers might just be unstoppable. Let's do it.
How the U.S. Navy's new aircraft carriers, armed with F-35s, could be unstoppable.
Just humongous. And I think the F-35 is, as of right now at least, the most advanced aircraft, or at least the most advanced fighter jet.
The Navy is making lethality enhancing modifications to its next two Ford-class aircraft carriers to include weapons-oriented ship adjustments intended to further increase overall aircraft carrier combat effectiveness. The initiatives, according to Navy statements, involve specific aircraft carrier modifications intended to, among other things, improve the maritime warfighting potential of how a carrier integrates with the soon-to-arrive F-35C and MQ-25 Stingray drone refueler.
Wow, look at that thing. I mean, if that, like, that literally looks like it's out of like a sci-fi movie, like out of Terminator or something.
These now underway modifications, which Navy developers specify do not include changes to the F-35C or Stingray themselves, are in part intended to step up aircraft carrier attack abilities in the open sea, made manifest by the Navy's recent cost-saving two-carrier buy. All of this is enabled by a two-carrier Navy buy of its next two Ford-class carriers. Instead of stovepiping or separating purchases for its next two carriers, the Navy has awarded a contract to Huntington Ingalls Industries to build both the future USS Enterprise, CVN-80, and USS Doris Miller, CVN-81.
Man, I wonder, like, how much does an aircraft carrier weigh? You know, what is just the dry weight of it? Like, I can't even begin to quantify it. You know, if a car typically weighs 1.5 tons, this thing has got to be like 100,000 tons plus. Just insane. I'm probably underestimating it as well.
Alongside the intended cost saving of more than $4 billion associated with the block buy, the Navy is also streamlining weapons and war technology development regarding how a carrier hosts its F-35C, Mk-38 gun system.
Holy, look at the size of these bullets, man. I don't even think these. You wouldn't even call these bullets anymore. These are just like projectiles, just huge, like.
And MQ-25 Stingray drones. These modifications increase the lethality of the Ford class and represent an additional $100 million in savings. Since these modifications were not included in the original single CVN Navy estimate, a Navy statement writes, "These modifications to the carriers themselves, described as lethality-enhancing measures, appear to be a part of the Navy's broader strategy to massively increase offensive and defensive war systems for its Ford-class carriers. So far, some of these measures include the planned addition of now in development torpedo defense systems, interceptor missiles, and the introduction of greatly impactful platforms such as the F-35C and MQ-25 Stingray. Part of these modifications include the introduction of digital shipbuilding techniques as well. Integrated digital shipbuilding, IDS, is key to achieving the production efficiencies of the two CVN buy.
Digital shipbuilding. So is that not just CAD, computer aided design? Or is it like some kind of next level CAD that's maybe more intuitive? Maybe it can predict, where what you're thinking and kind of anticipate that?
The Navy and the shipbuilder are investing in IDS, which will reduce the amount of production effort required to build Ford-class carriers. William Couch, Navy Sea Systems Command spokesman, told Warrior Maven. Streamlining the integration of these platforms, as stated by the Navy, could bring a range of substantial enhancements and align with the Navy's strategy to better prepare its carriers for war. The F-35C, naturally, will bring a new array of attack options for the carrier air wing, not to mention an unprecedented measure of aerial intelligence, reconnaissance, and surveillance.
Great looking plane, the F-35. Almost as good looking as the F-22. Almost.
ISR. Drawing upon new sensor and targeting technology, the aerial attack range will be significantly changed, and stealth technology will enable air attack to operate in higher threat environments, such as areas containing advanced air defenses. The arrival of the F-35C is by all estimations expected to change the paradigm for carrier air attack. These enhancements are intended to work alongside and benefit from the emergence of its first-of-a-kind drone refueler, which brings the promise of potentially doubling the attack radius for carrier-launched fighters.
Wow.
An ability
Double.
to refuel while in flight massively extends a carrier's attempt to further project power while remaining at safer standoff distances. If the combat radius of an F-18 or F-35 on one fuel tank reaches 300 to 400 miles or so, the aircraft will have to turn around at a certain distance from its carrier. However, if an attack platform can double that range, it can naturally travel much farther, enabling much more dwell time when it comes to attacks and provide the option to strike targets farther inland or from greater distances.
So, okay, so you've got the F-35 and the F-22 and F-16s. So I'm aware that they all have different strengths and weaknesses. So from what I know, the F-22 is more of a dogfighting superiority plane. The F-35 is a multi-use kind of plane. But I mean, at some point, there's got to be some kind of crossover between, say, like the F-35 and the F-22. I know there's different derivatives of the 35, the A, B, and C, I think. But are they used for the same types of missions is my main question. Like, what is the key difference between a mission that the F-22 would go on versus an F-35 mission? Because I'm sure, because the US, the inventory of fighter planes for the US must be huge. You've got so many at your disposal.
With a clear intent to enhance the Navy's carrier-based forward attack presence worldwide, shipbuilder Huntington Ingalls released a statement that the two-carrier buy is instrumental toward actualizing the Navy's planned fleet expansion. Streamlined acquisition, he says, can bring the Navy closer to a path toward a 12-carrier fleet. A shipbuilder, Huntington Ingalls Industries' statement at the time of the award called the two-carrier buy a triumphant step toward returning to a 12-ship aircraft carrier fleet and building the 355-ship Navy our nation needs. Jennifer Boykin, president of Newport News Shipbuilding, said in a company statement. Most importantly for us, it provides stability into the year 2032 for our workforce and for our supplier businesses across the United States.
Now that I think about it, I imagine that, the necessity for a large fleet is probably to stay ahead of, enemies or like rival nations, just to project power worldwide. So it's yeah.
He adds that the two ships are scheduled to be delivered in 2028 and 2032, respectively. Therefore, it goes without saying that streamlining the acquisition and integration of these systems aligns with an aggressive Navy push to make the carriers more combat capable. This strategy appears to have a few possible dimensions. While carriers typically operate in carrier strike groups surrounded by cruisers, destroyers, and other warships able to provide protection, a fast-changing threat environment is expected to create the need for more dispersed or disaggregated operations. In short, carriers will need greater attack and defensive technology themselves. For this reason, the service is not only looking to streamline and accelerate the arrival of the F-35C and drone tanker, but also bring new weapons such as lasers, guns, electronic warfare, and new interceptor defense systems.
Lasers. Like, we're living in the future. Like, laser weapons, you know. When I think of laser weapons, I think to, like, you know, Star Wars and, like, Star Trek. Like, to think we actually have that now is just mind-blowing.
All of this pertains to a much-discussed phenomenon characterizing Navy carriers for quite some time, namely, that longer-range anti-ship missiles, drone attacks, EW, and laser threats from potential adversaries change the equation regarding where carriers may need to operate. Observers have said new weapons such as the Chinese DF-26 anti-ship missile, reportedly able to travel up to 900 miles, and other emerging threats radically change the manner in which carriers will need to function, making them potentially less able to attack and project power. However, Navy leaders and developers often say, not so fast, making the point that emerging weapons and carrier defenses will enable carriers to operate where they need to. Naturally, they do not offer many specifics for security reasons, but there are a range of fast-emerging weapons which dramatically improve the Navy's layered ship defense system.
That's a great shot. Great takeoff shot there. Hold on. So was that a botched landing there, like, or was that intentional? Because I would imagine he was, you know, trying to land. Like, the ability to take off on a short runway like that is so impressive. Considering a jumbo jet needs like a mile plus. Yeah, those carriers look phenomenal. Just beastly, intimidating, just huge, you know, especially with all those F-35s just lined up on them. Very, very formidable. I mean, you would not want to be an enemy nation and just know that that could be used against you at any moment. Yeah, it's a big deterrent, that's for sure. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, turn on bell notifications, and keep throwing the recommendations my way. I know I say it all the time, but they genuinely help me out, because if I know you enjoyed watching something, I'll definitely enjoy reacting to it. So like, subscribe, turn on bell notifications, keep throwing the recommendations, and I'll catch you in the next one.